Sawtooth Dave. Welcome back to your regular scheduled Sunday sitting and bullshitting kind of session. So last night I got a chance to go hang out with Scotch and Thing, Steve, Kevin, which is El Jefe, or just call me Jefe on Instagram. It's always cool to hang out with them dudes, man. Like I should, we all should, but I should have planned it way better. Steve told me in advance, and it last minute, like I literally was trading days with other employees to try to get Saturday off. Stupid on my part. I should have planned, and then I had to work this morning. It's like I don't know, 1:30 or something now. Just getting home. Anywho, so this time of year here in Phoenix, you got Barrett Jackson auction here in Tucson. There's a general international gem and mineral show that happens every year. It's tons of people come in to both of those. And of course, on the interstate, I got stuck for like an extra hour and a half or some shit like that. So, 3 hours and 15 minutes up back or up there and like 2.5 hours back. That's just, sucked that it is stuck in a car that long and I didn't get to spend enough time with them guys. But worth the drive. Every second of it was worth the drive to get to hang with them guys. So Steve let me a couple of them. I'll show you here in a minute. I'm just trying to go through it as quickly as I can. I'm trying to make it brief since I did that one yesterday too. Let's see. So I did have an issue this week that I kind of needed to get out of my chest, whatever. What am I trying to say? Yeah. So it hadn't happened as of yet, but then it happened twice here recently. I got sent in some clones. So both people that sent the clones knew they were clones. One person sent in it basically because he didn't want it, just get rid of it, just here, do something with it kind of thing. The other person sent it in for work. I'm not trying to call either one of them people out, just telling you it had happened. Both knew they were clones, but the one that sent it to me basically talked about it ahead of time. The other one just popped in here and I was like, hey, I'm not really comfortable with this. So it's a gray area for me because yes, I am getting to practice on a blade. But I don't want to promote clones in any shape, form, fashion. It's not me at all. It just don't work for me. So like from now on, don't send me no clones. I just can't do nothing with it. Like, sorry, I can't be involved in that. So I've already talked to both those people that we're all cool. Everything's good here. I just had to say it, man. It's like, I think everybody's on the same board. Clones suck, but if you think otherwise, then just keep it out. Don't send them here. That's all I'm asking, okay? Cool enough. Done with that crap. I'm getting a little behind on schedule. I had some septic tank issues, and I got to finish, trying to get all the crap out of the leach field here in a minute. But that's, shit work, literally, that having to kind of do around everything else. And so work's kind of slowing down right now. So if you've got something in or you're sending something in, it might take a little longer. Bear with me. I'm trying to get this leach field clear that today. If I can borrow my neighbor's tractor. Anyhow, let me go through. I didn't get that much done this week, so I'm gonna go through what I did on the flip around thing, and I'm gonna show you a couple nights that Steve loaned in, and yeah, let's do that. All right. So this week I didn't really get a whole lot done for everybody else, but hey, I did something for myself this week. I did that every now and then, right? So I told you guys I was going to make you go look at Instagram to see it done, but I changed mine. So Steve Claire's Migron. I already showed you the regrind last week, but the frame was too sterile for me still. So I went ahead and basically radiused it, smoothed all these edges around the corners. And it's subtle, but when you put it in your hand, you can definitely feel like it's been worked by the hand, but mainly in the clip that you can really feel the difference in the clip and just around some of these edges, just a little bit smoother out. And of course, had to aluminum oxide blast it. He asked for the removal of the hardware as well. It's faint. It's still in there. Kind of sort of see it in certain lights. But, man, does that not look like a much better armor? Armor? Is that armor? Whatever, however you say it. Migron. The fat Migron. Whatever it's armor. Whatever the hell that says. ARMA? I don't know. I'm going to quit well in my head here. Anyhow, so you're going to see that I basically did all of these. So DSK I showed you last weekend, I basically did the same thing. These edges were a little sharper before, so raised it all over, reblasted it. I was going to do a flipper delete on this one, still thinking I probably will. Just hadn't got there yet. So that's probably something else that's going to happen. The 229 I showed you guys yesterday in that video. I did purchase this one, so I'm going to leave this heavily influenced based on, let's see, who all loaned me Chavez's and had me modify Chavez's over the years. Mateo, Billy, Denise, everybody I've done has loaned one in or has let me modify theirs. Like, that's what influenced me to buy this one. They didn't cost hardly anything. Like the 228s, I believe, are a little smaller than this 229, maybe slightly smaller. I contemplated getting one, but being the no skull clip and the price that I paid for this, like, it's a no-brainer for me. So I'm probably gonna acid etch the blade, probably get rid of that logo too. Acid etch the blade, a little more sterile, and probably blast this hardware. That's kind of sort of the game plan right now. I don't know, I may not blast the hardware, but like especially over here where it kind of shows to the eye, you can see it over there, that screw that's kind of popping through the eye. It kind of messes with my brain. I don't really like it too much, so I'm probably gonna blast the hardware as well. Do something different. Maybe just blast and not tumble or something. I don't know. Do something different with it. I got to at least sandblast it. Maybe I got to do something with it. But 229. And I think I might have showed you guys this last week, but I don't remember for sure. But this is the ADV Butcher. I think it's called the Classic Butcher. This is from 2016. So it was much different in the frame. So same thing again. Molded all this. The carbon fiber's an insert. So I'm debating on this one. Yeah, I basically did it and blasted it just like those other ones I was showing you. But I got stuck mid-thought there. Keep the gold hardware and make these gold, or blast all the hardware. And of course, regrind. I got to do a regrind on it, so I haven't regrind this one yet, but plan on regrinding it. But the flipper's so good, the action's so good on this. It's like, it's kind of one of those ones that, like, I want to regrind it, but at the same time, like, it's not bad how it is. Like, it's kind of actually good the way it is. Like, it's still a pretty hard use knife, not too bad, but you know, maybe I'll come in here and do like a 14-inch hollow, so it won't quite be as deep, but have a little bit, remove a little bit on it, because I doubt this is going to carry a lot of, I doubt this is going to be a prime, you know, right pocket carry for me, but I kind of dig it. Also had to reshape that backspacer, because that backspacer was like, it came out pointy, and when you put your hand on it, like in the palm especially, it just dig in your palm, didn't feel good. But this was a trade I got in from Denise last week. So those four I got done this week. See, I don't think I did any. Oh, I did do grinding. I didn't even bring those. I'll have to make another clip. Damn it, I forgot that. But anyhow, let's go over the knives that my buddy Steve Clare sent. Steve Scotson thing sent. Too many Steve buddies, right? FMJ. So the FMJ, which one of these is this? Hang on, give me 1 second here while I find some other stuff, because I'm kind of not prepared as usual, right? Rogovitz. So there's my Rhino next to the FMJ. As Steve was saying, the FMJ is kind of like an ode to the Strider model, I guess. His kind of sort of take on that same kind of thing. Sorry, I'm trying to open another package because I still have Steve Clare's Rogovitz as well. So I figured, well, we got all three. Let's talk about all three. Why not? So you can see the differences size-wise, and it'll make more sense. So Rhino on the bottom, FMJ in the middle, Titan 4 or T4 on the top there. So you can see the Titan 4 is overall a larger knife, but I want to say I've looked at, I think, 7 Rogovitz now. The XR3 from Jose, by far my favorite one. This is probably my second favorite one. This one has extra thick blade. So super thick blade compared to, say, FMJ. Let's just do this, so I'm going to drop them in a second. See how much thicker that blade stock is. It's ridiculously thicker, right? And even my Rhino is a 1/4-inch blade stock. And you can see that compared to, actually, it looks like the same. It might be the same. So it just might be slightly thicker than this one, but not much. But either way, like, the Rhino looks like a little chunk, right? It looks like a little chunker compared. Hey, don't jump. Sorry, I got a cat inbound here. I got a block. But overall, lengthwise, you see the FMJ is not much bigger. It is bigger, longer-wise, than the Rhino. But it's substantially smaller than that T4. The Titan 4 is a much bigger blade and feel in the hand and everything like this. This is kind of in between, for me, was size of like an SMF. So this is Dwayne Dwyer custom right here. SMF, but it's still the same thing. So it's in between like SMF and S&G. It's kind of closer to S&G size. Let's do this for, because most of you 95% or at least know what a Chavez lengthwise is. So there's a Chavez right there. And this one, believe it or not, I'm just going to throw in for size comparison, but I'll tell a story while I'm doing it. This is a BCP. It came from Nick Edwards. Went to Billy. I traded it for Billy in October, end of October, but I didn't know nothing November, so I had him send it to Steve, who also lent it out to Just Call Me Hefe. And I just now got it back, so this is the first time I've handled it. Was yesterday, and I've had to own this knife since October, believe it or not. But anyway, VECP. And it's got heritage because it's been through a lot of channels. Anyhow, so I don't even remember what I traded for this. So you can see about the same size. So if you're familiar with that or the 229, this FMJ is pretty much about the same size, but also, you know, substantially thicker than the VSEP is. I don't know if it comes out in video clear or not, but badass knife. Steve let me borrow this one when I seen him yesterday. He's like, yeah, just take that with you. So I'm glad he gave me a little time with this one, because honestly, man, I wasn't really sure. Like, my initial impressions were I wasn't really sure. Like, it just, like he said, he wanted more of a plain version, and this is the way he gave him for plain. So I kind of had the similar impression he did. At first, I was like, well, a little busier than I wanted. But the more I look at it, the more I'm like, it's not that bad, man. It's just like, it's different, right? So I dig it. But, you know, for me personally, the plain is more my style. Both these have brass backspacers, but the Rhino has the copper. And Steve really didn't know the difference, like looking at them. So you can see now copper is much more of a dark gold brown, and this is definitely, or dark brown, and this is more of a gold. So you can see the difference between brass and the copper right there. Bronze also has that similar kind of tone as well. Let's do this to put all three as I'm hitting the camera. So I believe you're looking at brass, bronze, and copper. So you can kind of see the difference in the colors of all those. This possibly could be brass. It's a little tarnished, but I'm pretty sure it's bronze. But that's generally how it goes. The browner it is the copper when it gets to this such. I mean, you can make copper bright and shiny, but compared to the brass, you make brass, it's always going to look gold, and copper's going to look more browny. Anyhow, going off on tangents. I'm trying to keep this one brief, ain't I? Yes, I am. So I got to mail Steve Scotch and Things, Steve Clares, because he didn't want to take them back on the plane, which I don't blame him at all. He didn't want to have that problem and be responsible for that. But while we're talking about Dwayne Dwyer's, I had it over here a minute ago. The chisel grinds, you know, like I wasn't huge on chisel grinds before I got this knife. It kind of turned me into it. And then Steve was like, hey, let me show you my Dwayne Dwyer. So he's got his, this is the L, whatever he calls them. The SMF, but whatever Dwyer's name is. I can't, BBNL, I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is. But it's his version of the SMF. And I can tell you, once I got it in hand, 100% like the Strutter frame better than the BBNL. It just feels smaller and daintier. And I guess for smaller handed people, you're probably going to like this one better than this one, but not me. You can see FMJ is like pretty much right in that wheelhouse. You know, it's smaller, but it's not that much smaller. Blade wise, you're probably looking at more cutting area on the FMJ. It doesn't have that forward finger troll, but like the feel of the knife, you know, in hand and that sort of thing is very reminiscent. It's really a cool blade. So anyway, these two are in from Scotch and Things, and I'm going to play with them for a week or two and then probably send them back to him. But this Dwyer is cool as hell. I love the groundwork on the Dwyers. Sick blades. All right, I'm kind of wasting your time. Let me go get those other knives and show you those two regrinds I did this week, and then we'll call it for a week. All right, so I'm not sure if the mic's working or not, but Tactical Terry sent in a couple. So on these, I was pretty much like the same thing as Javon. I was like, man, how are you going to use a knife? He said pretty much mostly like slicing and that sort of thing, not really hard to use. So 80-10 we're all familiar with. Slicer kind of grind. I did on the 80-20. So it's not like the thinnest, but it is thin on this one. So it's not like as thin. I can make it, like if I did a dual grind with like hollow and then the flatter tip, I would have made this probably a little bit thinner, but it's pretty thin, especially up in the belly right here. It's pretty thin right there. So I think that's what he's going to want. So 80-10 and also a Formax Scout. Same thing, slicer grind on it as well. I didn't even show you the other side, did I? I don't remember if I did or not. Let's just do that then. All right, so 2 slicers, Tactical Terry. Pretty much exactly how I wanted to do them. I'm trying to do these a little different. Like every time I do 80-10 or Formax, I'm trying to do them a little different, but I so enjoy the bigger blades, grinding them like this, like just turns them into way better slicers. And he's a sharpener, so he's gonna sharpen his own blades. Has a little mismatch on that right now from the grind, but it's kind of what you get. I didn't belt sharpen these at all. I just sent them back. So remember, if you guys sending stuff in for grinds, let me know if you want belt sharpened or not belt sharpened, and if you'd rather just do it all. So up to you guys. Let me know. All right. As you can imagine, kind of been a whirlwind week here. You know, the giveaway was kind of like a surprise last minute. And thank you to everybody involved that pushed me to that 1,000. But there are also several other channels doing giveaways this weekend. So, you know, I invite you to go to their giveaways as well. I'm not going to mention them because, you know, if someone's here for a giveaway and then they go to another channel just for a giveaway, I mean, let's just do it. Fuck it. Appalachian ADV Rider, he's about at 1,000. My bro, Ken Faulkner, just reached a milestone, 500. I think his giveaway is already running. Cornbread's about to drop 3,000. There's a bunch of giveaways right here. So, y'all, it's been an awesome week. Thank you. But because of the whirlwind, you know, like I got to get on that septic tank. So short for me this week. I'll get into more normal, I guess, stuff. Well, I would say next week, but next week's going to be a giveaway, so it might be crazy too. The week after that, we'll get more normal. Try to anyhow. I'm gonna try to get work done for the guys that got stuff sent in. Terry, I'll try to get your nice sent back to you and whoever else I got nice. I got to keep a logbook to keep all this shit straight now. All right, for real though. Thank you guys. Have a great week. Catch you next week. Later.